Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. It's not every day that a second-year player in the NFL starts getting compared to a future Hall of Famer, but that's exactly what's happening with Chop Robinson, Terron Armstead. A respected veteran offensive lineman who's seen it all in this league. Didn't hold back on Good Morning Football when he said that Chop Robinson reminds him of Von Miller. Let's be real, Von Miller isn't just any name. He's a Super Bowl MVP. One of the most dominant edge rushers we've ever seen, and a walking nightmare for quarterbacks. So when Armstead says Chop is Von Miller-esque, you gotta pay attention. This isn't just hype. This is coming from a guy who's had to block the best of the best. According to Armstead, Robinson has elite get-off speed, elite bend. And now he's putting the mental side of the game together. That's a dangerous combination. That's what keeps offensive linemen up at night. Now here's where things get really spicy. Armstead didn't just toss out that comparison for fun. He put Chop Robinson above Jared Verse in his nightmare pass rusher rankings, and that's crazy because just recently, he said on SiriusXM NFL radio that Jared Verse was the top guy. He's glad he'll never have to block again. Think about that. Armstead basically said Verse gave him nightmares. I'm okay with never seeing that young man again in my life, he said. Verse has that bull rush that just wrecks your day. He's powerful, he's explosive, and he's only getting started, and yet on national television, Armstead puts Chop Robinson a spot ahead of him. That tells you everything you need to know about how explosive and scary Chop was down the stretch last season. It's not just the numbers, it's the feeling guys get when they line up across from him. So what makes Chop Robinson such a nightmare? What turns a young edge rusher into a matchup nobody wants to deal with? First, it's that freakish athleticism. Chop's get off the moment the ball is snapped is just insane. You can't teach that kind of burst. If you blink, he's already in your lap. And then there's his bend. Von Miller made a career out of turning corners like a race car, getting so low that tackles could barely even get a hand on him. Chop has that same ability. His hips are flexible. He keeps his balance, and he knows how to reduce his surface area so tackles can't get a solid punch. When you pair that with his growing football IQ, now you've got a player who can not only win with raw tools, but also understands how to manipulate a blocker. That's next level stuff. And it's scary to think he's only in year 2. Let's not forget how slow things started for Chop last year, the first half of his rookie season. Pretty quiet, just 11 quarterback pressures in 8 weeks, not exactly eye-popping. But here's the thing about young players, development is rarely linear. Sometimes the light just clicks on. And that's exactly what happened with Chop in Week 12 against the Patriots. That game was the turning point. He erupted for 10 pressures in a single game. That's wild. That's not just production, that's domination. And from that moment on, it was like the floodgates opened. From Week 9 to the end of the season, Robinson racked up 45 quarterback pressures and 6 sacks. He went from an anonymous rookie to one of the most disruptive forces in the league. Practically overnight. That kind of transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens when talent meets preparation and confidence. And the scariest part, he's just getting started. Terron Armstead made another great point on the show. He said that with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips lining up alongside Robinson, Chop is going to get more one-on-one opportunities. Think about that. When offensive lines have to worry about 3 legit threats coming at them from different angles, someone's going to get left alone. And if it's Chop Robinson getting that one-on-one matchup, forget it. He's already shown he can beat even above-average tackles. Give him a free lane or a tackle on an island, and he's living in your backfield. That's where Armstead's prediction comes, and he said Chop could even lead the league in sacks. Maybe not this year, but soon. That's high praise, and when it comes from someone who's blocked all pros, it carries weight. Let's zoom out for a second. This is the Miami Dolphins we're talking about. A team with playoff aspiration, a talented but sometimes shaky defense, and a fan base starving for postseason success. Players like Chop Robinson are exactly what this franchise needs. Young, explosive, ascending stars who can flip a game with one play. We always talk about how elite quarterbacks are game changers. But elite pass rushers, they're just as impactful. 1 sack on 3rd down, 1 strip fumble in the red zone, those are the moments that win games. And Robinson has the tools to be that kind of player. His ceiling isn't just good. His ceiling is game wrecker if he keeps growing mentally. If he sharpens his pass rush technique, and if he stays healthy, there's no reason he can't become the face of this defense now. Let's address the obvious. Comparisons to Von Miller are huge, maybe even a little premature. Von didn't just dominate, he did it for years. He was consistent, polished, and relentless. Chop's got a long way to go to reach that level. But here's the thing, he doesn't have to become Von Miller to be special. If he can reach even 70% of what Von was at his peak, you're still talking about a top-tier edge rusher. And if the Dolphins can help him continue to develop his plan of attack, when to use speed, when to counter, how to set up moves, then we're talking about a guy who might be a perennial Pro Bowler. That's not hype, that's trajectory. That's where he's headed if everything stays on track. What's encouraging is the mentality. Chop's not out here doing victory laps. He's grinding. He knows he started slow last season. He knows people were questioning him, and instead of folding, he flipped the switch. He turned that criticism into fuel. That Week 12 tape, that was a statement. And it wasn't just one game, it was the start of a stretch where he looked like one of the best edge defenders in football. That's what separates flashes from real potential. He stacked performances. He got better every week. And with a full off-season to build on that progress, he's coming into 2025 with momentum and confidence. You don't want to be the tackle lined up across from him when that first whistle blows. So here we are, Chop Robinson, the 4th-ranked nightmare on Terron Armstead's list. Ahead of guys like Jared Verse, compared to legends like Von Miller, still learning, still growing, but already making waves across the league. That's the kind of trajectory that excites fans, terrifies opponents, and energizes locker rooms. It's one thing to have potential, it's another to start realizing it this early. And for a team like the Dolphins, that's a gift. In a league where pass rushing is king, they might just have a prince ready to take the throne. Chop Robinson isn't just another young guy with speed, he's a problem. And if you're an opposing offensive coordinator, you better have a plan for him, because this nightmare, it's only just begun, still with us. Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The NFL world is buzzing with whispers. And if there's any truth to what's brewing behind the scenes, we could be witnessing one of the most seismic shifts in recent defensive football history. The word on the street, TJ Watt, yes, that TJ Watt is heading south to join the Miami Dolphins. That's right. The Steelers' defensive juggernaut may be on the verge of trading in black and gold for aqua and orange. While nothing's been officially confirmed, sources close to the league suggest that Miami is finalizing a historic trade to bring Watt into their locker room. The implications, monumental. We're talking about transforming a talented Dolphins defense into a full-blown, quarterback terrorizing machine. This isn't just adding a piece, it's importing a whole new identity. If this deal actually materializes, it would send shockwaves through the AFC. Miami, already boasting one of the league's most athletic defensive backfields, could suddenly become the most feared pass-rushing unit in football. Imagine TJ Watt lining up on one edge, with Jalen Phillips collapsing the pocket from the other side. Offensive coordinators would be losing sleep. Dolphins fans have been yearning for that one defining move that takes their team from playoff hopefuls to legitimate Super Bowl contenders, and this could be it. Watt brings more than just sacks, he brings leadership, fire, and a relentless motor that elevates everyone around him. If Miami is truly making this bold push, it means they're all in on winning now. There's a reason Watt has been the heart and soul of Pittsburgh's defense for years. He's not just a stat sheet stuffer, he's the type of player who changes games with a single play. Fumble recoveries, strip sacks, deflections, you name it. Every snap with Watt on the field is a threat, so why would the Steelers ever consider letting go of such a generational talent? Some insiders speculate that Pittsburgh may be entering a subtle rebuild, or at the very least, retooling around a younger core. Contract dynamics, cap space maneuvering, and long-term planning might be opening the door to a deal few thought possible. And Miami, they're waiting with open arms and a big checkbook. Now, let's talk fit. TJ Watt and Vic Fangio, whoever Miami's defensive architect is, moving forward system could be devastating. While Watt has thrived in Pittsburgh's hybrid 3-4 front, he's versatile enough to wreck offenses in any alignment, whether standing up on the edge, rushing with his hand in the dirt, or dropping back into a zone disguise. Watt's football IQ and athleticism allow him to adapt instantly. Miami's aggressive schemes are built around disguises, pre-snap confusion, and bringing pressure from unexpected angles. Insert Watt into that mix and suddenly you've got chaos. Beautiful, strategic chaos. And in the NFL, Chaos means turnovers. Fans in South Beach are already imagining the possibilities. Social media exploded the moment the rumor surfaced. Memes of Watt in a Dolphins jersey are flooding Instagram. Miami sports bars are buzzing. The city is electric. It's not just about what Watt brings on the field, it's the message it sends. This is a franchise that's tired of being almost a contender, almost elite. With Watt, it's a declaration. The time is now. No more rebuilding years, no more moral victories, just wins, brutal, dominant, defensive wins. And maybe, just maybe, a run at that elusive Lombardi trophy, of course. With great trades come great costs. Rumors suggest Miami may be parting with multiple high picks and a promising young defender to secure Watt. That's no small price. But when a player of his caliber becomes even remotely available, you pay. Because talent like that doesn't hit the market, it storms through it. Miami's front office knows this isn't a move you make unless you believe you're just one piece away. And if you've watched this team over the last 2 seasons, especially in big games, that missing piece has always felt like someone who could take over defensively in the biggest moments. What could be that guy? Steelers Nation, understandably, is in turmoil. The idea of watching TJ Watt leave Heinz Field is enough to make terrible towels fall limp. He's more than a player in Pittsburgh, he's a symbol, but even legends move on, and if this deal is being entertained, it's because both sides believe it serves their respective futures. The Steelers might be looking to retool around younger assets, while Miami is betting big on the present. It's the ultimate high-risk, high-reward scenario. For Pittsburgh, it's about tomorrow. For Miami, it's about today, and that urgency could be the X factor that makes this trade real. The AFC East is already one of the toughest divisions in football, but this move could tip the balance in Miami's favor, with the Bills, Jets, and even a reloading Patriots team jockeying for supremacy. The Dolphins needed a defining edge. They needed something more than Tua's arm or Tyreek's speed. They needed teeth on defense. What would give them fangs? He doesn't just complement the existing roster, he elevates it. And in a conference loaded with quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, you don't win by hoping to outscore everyone. You win by hunting them down. So, what now? All eyes are on South Florida. Will the Dolphins pull the trigger? Will the Steelers shock the league by letting their most iconic defender walk? Or is this just a smokescreen, a rumor turned wildfire, in the middle of a quiet off-season? Either way, the story has taken on a life of its own. Fans, analysts, and insiders are refreshing their feeds, waiting for that bombshell notification. One thing's for sure, if this trade happens, it changes everything. For Miami, for Pittsburgh, for the league, and until the ink dries or the rumor dies, we'll be watching closely, because sometimes the biggest plays don't happen on Sundays. They happen in silence, behind closed doors, just before history is made, and maybe, just maybe, history is knocking on Miami's door right now with the name TJ Watt stamped on the envelope. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!